Hello guys, once again it's Matt, and today we have another video, a very quick one. I wanted to do a video talking a little bit about what are my predictions for the summer event. So thank you all the members, all the patrons, make sure to subscribe and let's get into it guys. So I did a video on 3 ideas that I think would be amazing aircraft to be added in the summer event or any type of grinding event that we see in the future, right? But today we're going to actually try to predict the most likely aircraft to come. Obviously, if you remember, the last two summer events, or the last two events of this kind, the last summer and the last winter event, had basically 4 vehicles with 3 high tier ones, so one kind of high tier ship, one kind of high tier aircraft, and kind of high tier tank, and plus a lower tier vehicle that can be one ship or one low tier tank or one low tier aircraft, right? So yeah, let's talk a little bit about high tier aircraft, the main prize of the aviation that we might see. These 5 aircraft I think are very likely to come, but let's see how right I am. Probably completely wrong, but let's just wonder a little bit about it and have fun. The first one would be the MiG-29G. The MiG-29G, if you don't know, it is the same aircraft as the MiG-29 912A, okay? It's the same aircraft because it was the 912A, but modernized with NATO equipment, you know? After the reunification of Germany, the MiG-29 912As became the G to actually have a more direct approach and a little bit of a better, unification with the NATO vehicles, you know? So having English cockpit, NATO standard radios and IFFs and systems like that. Still uses the same missiles. Maybe they could add it with less highly advanced missiles like the ER maybe or something like that, I don't know. But it would be an interesting vehicle just for the sake of it to have a very interesting one. So yeah, the second one would be one that I always talk about and I think it would be perfect, and it has a chance. I don't know how big of a chance it is. I think it's smaller than the MiG-29G, but it still has a chance. The MiG-25, I mean, MiG-25P, Interceptor, late 60s to early 70s, right? The older variant with just 4 R-40 missiles, no cannon, and the radar was a fairly good one for the time, but it didn't have any pull stop or anything like that. So it would be very limited for a Tech 3 vehicle. And it would be an interesting addition. It's a very iconic aircraft, and I think it would be a very good option. I mean, if I'm going to give kind of a score from 0 to 10, you know, of how likely these aircraft would be, the MiG-29G would be like a 7, I would say. And the MiG-25P would be like a 4 or something like that. So yeah, way less likely, but still it's an interesting option. Then the third one, the Mirage 4000, I think would be a very interesting aircraft. I know a lot of people want it in the Tech 3, but to be honest, I don't see Gaijin actually adding it on the Tech 3 because it is kind of a prototype, right? Never saw full production. It would have an older radar than the Mirage 2000C that we have. The missiles would be the Super 530F, and it would be able to carry the Magic ones, but a lot of them, you know? So it is basically a heavy fighter version of a Mirage 2000, right? So to be countering the F-15 and other heavier aircraft like that. So it would be a very interesting option. I think this is kind of likely to be an event vehicle, maybe not in this event that it's like shortly going to come. Remember, the devlogs, we will see, I think, max time frame that we will see the first ones next week. So be aware of that. And I think it would be a very interesting aircraft, a lower BR, not top tier. I think out of 10, you know, how likely, in my opinion, would be kind of like an 8, I would say. More likely than the MiG-29G, but not that likely as well. The fourth one would be an F-111. In general, an F-111, but I think the B variant would be very interesting to see. I still think that they might do something with these aircraft, just like they did with the F-4s and the MiG-23s in the German Tech 3, adding one as an event vehicle, and after that adding a proper aircraft. And the B would be an interesting one. I mean, you would have technically the AIM-54 missile, and so, I mean, it would be very, very interesting to see something like that. It would be like a a Tomcat's kind of losing partner that ever got into production, right? So it would be very interesting to see. And then after that, maybe adding the normal variants, the interdictor variants for the tech tree in the next major patch coming up in September, right? So I think it would be an interesting option. Not the greatest thing ever, but it would still be cool. How likely? I mean, I think it's very likely, to be honest. It would be for me an 8 as well. I think it's very likely, not like confirmed, but I think it would be likely to see something like this. And then the last one that I wanted to talk about, another aircraft that I really doubt the Gaijin will add it as a Tech Tree 1, even though I think it would be fair to see as a Tech Tree 1. I still think the Gaijin will likely add it as an event vehicle. The F-20 Tiger Shark, right? So it's an aircraft that was based off of the F-5s, right? And it was basically an evolution of that. So it had a BVR capability with a better radar. It has one big engine instead of two smaller ones. You know, it has its limitations. I'm not gonna lie. It's not the, at the time, it would be kind of similar to something like the F-16. But eventually it will become kind of, you know, a lower BR, because we will see better aircraft being added in the future of War Thunder, right? So we will be stuck in time, I think, right, in a certain way. And as I said, I know a lot of people would love to see this aircraft in the tech tree, but I have a feeling that this aircraft will be an event vehicle. Maybe not added right now, but I mean, it has a chance. It would be a very interesting one, and just a very annoying one, I must admit, because the F5 is already annoying to kill. It's hard to kill, you know, in the sense of it's a very easy aircraft to fly. You know, it's very easy to get a lot of kills with it. It's a very fun aircraft, you know, so a lot of people love it. And imagine that on steroids, right? With VR and, you know, way more power and stuff. So it would be very, very scary to see something like that. But yeah, guys, I think this is kind of a stretch. How likely you would be added? I think it's like a 6 right now, maybe even less. But the thing is that they always get us in a by surprise, right? They might add a 50s kind of prototype or different aircraft like they did with the F4D Skyray, right? They might add an interdictor like the Tornado again. Who knows? It's very difficult to know. But we are trying to predict, right? So for aircraft, I would put my bets on something along these lines. Maybe a different variant of something that I talked about. But along these lines, I would suggest that it is right to place a bet on it. But anyway, let me know in the comments, what do you think they will add? Not what you want to be added. What do you think they will realistically add as a summer event vehicle? Let me know in the comments and I will read it. And I see you guys on the next one. Bye, subscribe, see you.